Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and we finally cooled down a bit. We had a big rainy day yesterday, and so now I'm back in long sleeves, which is my comfort zone, actually. Today it's going to be a beautiful day in the 20s Celsius for those of you who speak Celsius. So kind of the perfect temperature for me. So I am looking forward to an afternoon walk with a friend today. So anyway, it's summerween again. I learned this word this summerween, and it's perfect for us because paper crafters, we tend to have to work ahead because we can't just always, if we're going to make a lot of things, we're not going to be making them the day before Halloween, right? We need to work in advance. We need to make sure that we have our supplies. So today we are going to make this really sweet box. I was kind of having fun with designing this one. Now, if I open this box, all the candy will fall out. Well, maybe this box will be okay. Let me open this one because I think this one is the one that has the, okay, this is the one that has the candy corn in it. Oh, and look at this iridescent treat bag. These are new that came with Stampin' Up on the online exclusives. Be sure to pick some of these up. They are fabulous. They come in a pack like this. 20 in a pack like this, and they have the most fun iridescent sheen to them, and you can see that here. They just, I don't know, it kind of looks otherworldly. So those are really fun to package candy in, and so I just had a lot of fun with this little box. I'm going to show you how to make it. I made it in 2 colors, and these are 2 of our new in colors. That one was made in Secret Sea or Deep Blue Black, and this one is in Timid Tiger, which I think makes a really good Halloween color. And the nice thing about using these 2 colors to make this box is we've got matching ribbon. Oh, I have ink on my fingernail. That does not look pretty. I'm sorry for what it looks like is like stuff under my fingernails. It's ink. I've been crafting, so I apologize. But this ribbon right here, Timid Tiger, and then this one is Secret Sea. So we have matching ribbon, and it just kind of adds a little something to the box without taking a terribly long time to put on the box. It just dresses up the side of the box a little bit and makes it look a little fancier. And I'm going to show you how I did this little, this is actually a stamp, and I will show you how I colored this afterwards. And so these boxes, we're going to be making them, and I will have a project sheet for my email list subscribers. So you need to get on my email list if you're not already on my email list. Project sheets are sent out on Saturdays, and so you can expect my project sheet for this project tomorrow. And you can get on my email list just by going down the description of the video down below, click on, I think it's see more, show more, and it opens up my whole section, which has links back to my blog. It has a supply list. So a lot of different things that I'll be talking about today will be referenced down below. So if you want that project sheet, make sure you are on my email list. When you sign up, you will also get a welcome email that will give you a link to access my past project sheets, which are very popular. I have several years going back of project sheets that that you might want to check out. So it is a great resource area. What else can I tell you? Well, we are on August 1st today. So today we start a new month, and next week we are going to have a special on the 2025 to 2027 in colors. So if you like the colors I'm using today, Timid Tiger and Secret Sea, those colors will be on sale, 15% off, starting on whatever August 5th is. So I think it's Tuesday, next Tuesday. So that will be one of our August specials. We also will be adding new things to the last chance category, so make sure that next Tuesday you check out the store. And I will be talking about that next Tuesday anyway, but just so you know that that is upcoming. Oh, and last week I did a free project sheet, but I also did a paid project sheet on my tea light holder. It's this little box right here, which is also a tea light holder. So I did treat boxes that used half a sheet of cardstock, and this is my tea light slash treat box, because you can put both the tea light and treats inside. So this one it's nice for if you want something a little different, and it's kind of cute to have on your table at Halloween, or maybe on your desk or an office co-worker's desk. It can make Halloween fun for other people. So this one is free with an order, or it's also free for my Stampin' Up! Team. If you are on my team, as I see some of you are on here this morning, you would have gotten this in an email last week. Just reach out to me if you didn't get it. But you can choose this one free with a purchase. So I am just going to close that up, and we are going to get right into making this project. And I'm gonna zoom in because my desk, as always, is messy. All right, let's switch over to I wanted to show you this. I just got this from Amazon yesterday, and I have linked it down below in the description of my video. This is a ruler that I'm pretty good at measurements. But if you have trouble with your measurements, and sometimes it's very easy to, this is a ruler that will allow you to actually see all the little tick marks. So if we zoom in, we've got the biggest ones right here, 1, 2, 3. And then the next ones are the ½ inch marks. I'm gonna come up a little closer here. Can that actually, okay, good. So you can see it. So then you can see the 1/8 inch marks, and then if you go even further, you can see the 16th inch marks. And sometimes I do things on the 16th, and sometimes it's very hard to explain. You know, it's been between 5/8 and 3/4. Today we're going to have some 16th measurements. This is a great ruler if you have trouble with those measurements, because it will be spelled out for you, like 2 and 13/16 is on the ruler. You can find it 2, and then you go up here and you can see the 13/16. So I will have that linked down below. I think it was around $5. I have a whole bunch of different rulers. I love rulers. So this one is awesome, a new addition to my ruler collection. It's nice and heavy. It's metal ruler, and it's got this overlay on top, and then it has this I think it's a cork bottom, and it helps it not to slip and slide away. So this is my new ruler find. So this will help some of you if you have trouble with measurements. Also, it has centimeters down at the bottom, but I think both US and Canada and most other places we use inches, and I know there's some places in Europe that do use the metric, but even in Canada we typically still use inches, so this is really, really helpful. Okay, I want to show you, so this box, it kind of opens like this, and here is, I put some these are Hershey's miniatures on the inside, and here I did an eek on this side, and I did a boo on the other one. Now this box only opens to here. because this lid stops it from going any further. So it is a different type of box, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that because we love different types of boxes. We don't want all of our boxes to be the same. And this is a hinged box, and you can see right here, these little tabs, they're gonna tuck into the box like that. So it's kind of a different sort of box than I typically make. So I thought you would appreciate the difference there. So we've got things going on. Okay, so next off, we've got my cardstock, and I thought today I would show you how I cut down this cardstock, and just want to show you right here. So I'm gonna cut, we need 3 pieces of cardstock to, oops, I am moving these off to the side here. We need 3 pieces of cardstock to make the box. Plus we need a die cut for the top and the bottom. Let me show you the bundle real quick. This is the Fright Night bundle, and it has the stamp set, and it has this die set with it. We are going to use this for the front of the box. I love this because it just decorates the top of your box so quickly and easily. So definitely you would want to get both of these together. And then we have these cute greetings, boo and eek, and some spider webs and a spider. If you don't like spiders, you don't have to put the spider on there, nor the spider webs. But it's nice that we have 2 nesting dies. I'm going to show you how I use those. Okay, so let's start off. I've got this is 11 by 8.5, and I'm going to put the long side up at the top of my trimmer. And the first thing we're going to do is cut at the 5 1/4 inch mark. I'll give you the measurements, the finished measurements, but we're going to cut this at 5 1/4, and then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut at 5 3/4. So this is the base box. It is 5 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we'll set that aside. Then we're going to, this is going to be my connector piece. This is what came off of this piece here, and I've got this other bigger piece reserved on the side. And this one we're going to line up at the the short side up at the 2 1/8 inch mark. So scoop, scoop, scoop. And we'll cut that away. And then we're going to cut this side at 4 1/8. All right. So my connector piece is 4 1/8 by 2 1/8. These are scraps. I won't need those. And then we're going to cut one more piece. This is going to be the lid of the box. And this one, I want to start off by, this is going to be at 3 3/8. Okay. We're going to reserve this one for the die cutting piece. So that's 3 3/8. And then we're going to turn it, and then we're going to line this up at 3 11/16. So 11/16 is just 1/16 below 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, and I'm going to move back 1 tick, and that is 3 11/16. Okay, we're going to take our ruler right here. Let's match this up. So this is 3 11/16 right there. You can see there. And then this one, I haven't measured things yet with this one. So just going to go in 3 3/8. Yeah. So as I'm measuring this, I'm going just a tiny bit inside the edge here, that white line right on the edge. It's just a little bit in from there to get 3 3/8. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this one is 3 3/8 by 3 11/16. So those are our 3 pieces that we need. And then I've got, this is an extra scrap, and then this one is going to be what we're going to use for die cutting. So I will set that one aside and we'll come back to it in a moment. All right, just kind of wanted to show you that you can get one box out of one sheet of cardstock. Okay, so we're going to start off with our 5 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock, and we're going to score this one at the 1.5 inch mark on all 4 sides. 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. There we go. And we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to take our connector piece. This was our second piece that we cut. This is the 4 1/8 by 2 1/8 inch piece. We're going to put the long side up at the top and score this at 1.5. Okay, that's it for the connector piece. Then we're going to take our lid piece, which is our 3 11/16 by 3 3/8 inch piece. And we're going to start off, I'm just trying to decide, we're going to do the long side is up at the top. So the 3 11/16 inch one is up at the top, okay? And 3 3/8 is on the side here. We're only going to score this on 3 sides. So right now we're going to score at the 3 1/4 inch mark. And then we're going to turn this 1/4 turn to this way, to the, I guess this is to the right. Okay. And then we're going to score. Just keep, once you've got the first side lined up correctly, just keep turning the same direction and you'll get to the right spot. And 3/4 of an inch. I actually scored this wrong because it's one of the times that I was doing this. So if you take your connector piece and it fits nicely in the center, kind of just inside the score lines, then you know that you scored this piece correctly. If you scored it the wrong way, this will not fit inside. Okay, so you'll know if you did it wrong if you didn't. So we're just scoring this on 3 sides at the 3/4 inch mark. Okay, so those are our 3 main pieces. And we're going to come in and bring in our first piece. And I'm going to turn this to the longer side. And don't worry, I will have a diagram on the project sheet. And we're going to cut this along the score lines. You can use scissors if you want, but I like to use my trimmer. I'm going to bring my blade to the first score line here and just cut out. I'm going to lift and then cut down. So you can do this with scissors if you want. I'm going to turn it to the other side, line it back up, and then do the same thing, cut and cut. Nice straight lines here, okay? And then for this one, I'm going to cut here and here. So like that. I'm going to line this up. This is the third piece. And again, I will have a diagram for you, and that diagram will have the lines on it so you know where you're going to cut. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my paper snips. I'm going to angle cut these so that the box comes in nicely. So just take little slivers on each of the tabs. That's what it looks like. And we'll do that for all 4 on the first piece. And just one more on the first piece, and then we'll go to the third piece. Okay, the connector piece, we don't have to do any cutting on it. That's that smaller one. And then we're going to come to this last one, and we're going to angle cut these guys right here. Okay, get rid of the debris. Into the garbage it goes. All right, so I'm going to now fold these along the score lines. Okay. Okay, and then this one here has one fold as well. Okay, so these are our 3 pieces, and we're going to be connecting all 3 of them before we glue the box pieces together. So we're going to take our connector piece, and it has a long segment and a short segment. So one of the short, or just the short segment, is going to be glued to one of the short sides. It will overlap really well. You can either do it on this end or that end, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put glue on here. Okay, and then we're going to just nest this right in between the score lines, just so it doesn't interfere. You're going to put this bottom piece just above the bump of the score line, like that. Okay, and then we're going to connect, like I said before. If this overlaps well, then you've done it correctly. If this piece is off and this does not overlap in the center, then you scored this piece wrong. Okay, so then we're going to just put glue along here and here and here. We're going to create this piece. I will also, I think I took a photo of this when I did my thing yesterday, and I'll also photograph this piece for you so you can see on your diagram how that comes together. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so now we are going to bring our box together, and we'll start at this end. I don't think I need to do anything else before. I don't have my instructions written out yet, so I think this is my next step, if I remember correctly, and if not, then I will have to figure something else out. But I think we'll start at the bottom of the box, and we're just going to bring these together. Just take special care on the corner here that your fold line matches up with your cut line, and then just give it a little squeeze to make sure it comes together nicely. Just take a little care when you're doing that, so because that's what really makes the seam of the box nice. And because my tabs are angled, you're going to have to make sure you position it correctly when you do that, because you can kind of see where they are. This helps so that cardstock doesn't stick out up top here. Okay, and then we're going to do the next. This is the other part of the bottom of the box. Now, if you want to do any stamp, oh shoot, look what I did. I put this on the wrong side. Okay, do not fear. We are going to, I'm having a morning. Let's get rid of the glue first of all. Since this is still flat, let's just let it be flat for a moment. And then I'm just gonna, oh shoot. Okay, let's get some of the goopies off. This is my adhesive eraser. But the one thing you want to make sure is you pull off some of the little goops off the adhesive eraser before you start erasing your adhesive, because otherwise it will start to stick. Also, it does really help a lot if you let your adhesive dry a little bit first. But I did want to get some of it off, so that's why I kind of squished it down. Yep, on the wrong side. So I'm going to show you how to correct a mistake. That I've done this before, not very often though. Okay. I'm just taking off, I'm just pulling off some of the adhesive that has turned dark, because when you don't take it off, it will start to stick onto your project, and you don't want that. So there's little tricks that we have to have, because you know we are human and we are going to make mistakes sometimes. Or you start over, but you know, I'm pretty far into this project at this point, so I really don't want to start over. I'm feeling with my fingers, seeing if there's any. That's pretty good. This is also going to be on the inside of the box, so I am not going to be too concerned, because the shadows are going to hide any little discoloration. Okay, so now this is dried a bit, so I'm just going to come back. Even though this kind of remains sticky, I'm going to add just a little bit more glue on top. You have to flip it over to the back side. That's where I made my mistake. And then we're going to bring these together. And again, just take time, make sure it lines up nicely. The glue slides a little bit for a while. Then we're going to come to the other side and do the same thing. It's really much easier if you remove the adhesive while your project's still flat and you have a surface to press against. Okay. All right. Okay, so, oh, one other thing I did, which I forgot to do, but we can do right now while this box, I also angle cut right here. You'll see this on the diagram. So let's do this right now. I would take 3/4 of an inch, so we can measure this. We'll take 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to make myself a little mark right there. And I'll come over on this side and 3/4 of an inch. Now I still like my Omni Grip ruler too. I still use this ruler a lot too, and I will use them for different things, but this one does not have the measurements written on there. This is a ruler for someone who knows their measurements really well. This is a ruler to help people that have trouble with the measurements. And I had trouble with the measurements when I first started paper crafting too. But now that I've been doing it for a while, of course, it's just, I've been doing it for such a long time, it makes it easy. Okay, so I'm gonna angle cut like this. Like that. And then I'll come over here and I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. I should have done this beforehand. My diagram actually does have this cut on there. And then a white eraser for removing the little pencil marks. Okay, now we are ready to finish gluing the lid. And I'll make sure to put the glue on the correct side this time. And then we're going to bring this in and connect. And do the same for the other side. All right, so there is our box space, and now we need to cut some die cuts for the top and the bottom. So first of all, since we're going to be doing die cutting, I want to stamp because I'm also going to be die cutting the top part. So we're going to use Secret Sea ink. I love this ink color. It's blue black. I use it a lot now instead of black. One thing I want you to realize with this stamp, it is not antiqued, it is aged. I'm not having the right synonym. There is spots missing on these intentionally, so it doesn't look perfect. Okay, so the first time I stamped this, I hadn't really looked at the stamp very closely, and I thought I didn't do a good enough job stamping it. And I think this looks good because I think, you know, you don't want everything to be perfection on a Halloween stamp. It does look a little spooky like this, so that's fine with me. But at first I thought maybe I didn't stamp it properly, but that is the look of the stamp. Okay, so now we need our die cutting machine. Come here. And we'll need our base platform number 1, thin die adapter number 2, cutting plate for the bottom. We're going to grab this one right here. And first we're starting off with the smaller of the 2 labels. And I'm just going to grab some labeling and cover up tape. I need to, I'll see if I can put the adhesive eraser into my supply list down below on my video, in case anyone needs one. I'm just going to pin this down so it stays put. And then I'm going to run this through. My crank is over on the side and you can't see it, but I'm just cranking that through. All right, so that was nice and easy to do that, going through. And then I have that reserved piece of cardstock from earlier, and we're going to take the larger die and we're going to run it through twice. For the snap crackle. So sometimes it is good to just angle it just a little bit, because when it encounters a straight line and the roller is also on the straight, that's what creates the really big noises. If you can get it angled just a teeny tiny bit, it really does help. Let's see if this one, see? Doesn't that sound better? It's going over the roller and having the 2 things match up that causes the problem. Okay, so we've got 2 of these and 1 of the smaller ones. And now we can put our machine away. So before I forget, because it is much, much harder to color this piece when it is on the box. So I'm going to do that first before I do anything, because I'm going to forget. We're going to use this as a guide. So when I finish this, it's cute. It really is cute. You can absolutely do it like this, and it is cute. It's got enough going on. You do not have to add to it. You could also stamp this in Timid Tiger if you wanted to. But if you take just a moment and you go over some of the words, you can add just a hint of color, and it just brings it to life. You could also, if you wanted to, you could also outline the animals. So what I just decided to do was just follow the lines of the words. And it does not need to be perfect. You do not need to do a perfect job of this, because you just need to be close enough, and then it's going to highlight it just like a highlighter would, and it's going to look just a little bit better. So I'm going to do, this is my Highland Heather dark Stampin' Blends, and I'm just using the bullet tip to go over, and then I'm going to use, this is my Old Olive dark. I'm going over Beware. I'm going to go over Scare. Oops. Okay, I did not do a great job there, but it still looks okay because it's just highlighting, right? So you don't have to be perfect. Just kind of want to have a little bit of color show. And I'm sure it doesn't show up quite as well on camera as it does in person, but in person the details always show a little bit better. So here we go. First. Okay, so yeah, not perfect, but it just adds color. Okay, so we're gonna save that for the top one, and we're gonna do the bottom one first. So we're gonna glue this kind of centered. You can kind of see, I'll just hold this up for a second. It's gonna be just kind of like that on both ends. Put the glue on the bottom of the box and then attach it. Don't put the glue on here because the label is bigger than the box. And yeah, I could have done a different box with this, but I just thought it looked kind of cool. I was kind of thinking, I don't know, maybe a little coffin-like, I don't know. That's too spooky or macabre for you, but I just, you know, I kind of got that. I just wanted to do something a little different than I normally do in terms of boxes. So I'm just kind of pressing this down now. Okay, so the one thing about this box, I'm not going to close it all the way, but this box, this lid is supposed to nest inside, which is different than some other types of boxes. That's why it is in 3 pieces rather than a 1 piece, because I was able to do some little adjustments with the 16th inch mark. So just don't close it all the way yet because it's a little harder to pull it up. So we're going to take this piece, we're going to glue these two together now, because this is also much easier to glue while it's flat. And we're going to just center it on there. Give a little press. Okay, so when we're gluing this onto here, actually, I'm just gonna not kind of do it all the way. want to make sure that there's a little bit more, like it covers the entire piece, because if we get too far back on here, you're going to see the closure of the box right here. If your box closes, just grab like a piercer tool and grab it out. So we are going to glue this on here, but we're going to glue it while it's up, and we're going to make sure that we have a little bit more on this side so that it covers up the edge of the box. So again, we're going to put the glue on the actual box, not on the label, because it's very hard to see where you would need to put this. And then we're going to, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be, not quite, almost 1/8 of an inch, I think, showing on this side. So kind of like that, about 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to press, 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 press. Of course, you also want to make sure it's centered from side to side. Okay, and then we can just nest this inside. And that's how the little box comes together. I think it's super cute. Okay, so now we're going to add just a couple little pieces onto here. I've got some die cuts from this die set. We've got the little spider. You can use either Boo or Eek. And then we've got 3 little pieces of spider web. So I cut this spider web out of Smoky Slate, and the Eek is out of the Secret Sea. All right, so to start off with, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to kind of bring this down from the top like a spider web often is. Just going to put some little dots of glue near the bottom. It's not going to be completely attached all the way, so I'm just putting it on the top and the bottom. In fact, I'm going to just kind of curve that up to start off with. I'm going to put that kind of there, and then press down on there. And kind of see it's just not even going into the corner. It's being a spider web. And then we're going to take Eek. I have to turn it the right way. And we'll put Eek right across here like this. And I think on this one, I'll put the spider right onto the web. But first, let's position Eek. Boo is cute too. And if you didn't want to do die cuts, you could do Happy Halloween out of here. I would stamp it before. So that would be stamped on the connector piece. And you would stamp that when you had all 3 pieces connected, maybe, so you can make sure you were stamping it in the right direction. And what I would do is I would take Happy and Halloween. Oh, we also have Trick or Treat, which is cute too. I would probably cut these 2 stamps in half and stack them. Same with Trick or Treat. I might just cut them apart and stamp them stacked. But I really think Boo and Eek are just super cute. And then, oh, for the spider, you can mount it on a dimensional. You're going to need about half a dimensional because the spider's body is really not very big. So I'll just put that on there. And I have black dimensionals. We do sell black dimensionals, so that kind of helps. And then we'll just add the spider onto the little web right there on a dimensional. Yes, spiders. I used to be very scared of them. Okay, and then you can fill this with Halloween candy. I was at the store yesterday and they actually already had Halloween candy, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. So I did not know I didn't want to buy specific Halloween candy because I didn't know that I was going to make a box. I didn't even know that I was going to make Halloween before I went to the grocery store. So, but I have other candy just in house right now. I put Hershey's miniatures in this box. A lot of candy now comes in very small, kind of very small snack size pieces. So let's just kind of see how many pieces would fit in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you had like chunkier candy, it would probably be 7, 8, like maybe like 8 pieces of the Hershey's miniatures, or like 3 or 4 pieces of chunkier kind of candy. So it holds a little bit of candy, and it's kind of cute. A little bit different of a box, and then you'll close it. And then the last thing you're going to do is take some of your ribbon, and I measured this out when I did it. I used about 16 inches. If you're careful, you could probably use maybe 15 or 14 inches, but I was like a little extra to cut off. So then I'm just going to bring this in here. Make sure it's straight all the way around. And I love that we have 2 great Halloween colors, Secret Sea and Timid Tiger, that have coordinating ribbon on them. I'm just going to use my little glue jar as a prop up for the end of my tweezer. And I'm just going to give that a little tug. And then we're going to tie this. And there we go. See, like if you're careful, you could probably do 15 inches. 14 might be a little tight because you always want a little bit for the angle cutting. So that just adds like a little something to the side of the box, and you know, gives it a little bit more of a decorative look, right? And you open it up and you've got that. And oh, one more thing. Can't forget, these are the Shimmer Star foam stickers, and we can just use 1 or 2 of these stickers to embellish our box, and that's just going to give it a hint of shimmer in the light as well. So these are new with our Halloween online exclusive. So let me just shove some things out of the way. Let's take a look at this. Oh, then of course we have showed these to you earlier. These are our iridescent treat bags. If you're going to do candy corn, put it inside a bag. I'm going to show you how I did that. Just take this out. Now for this one, I'm going to say I put maybe about 20 pieces of candy corn in here. I did not count them, but you don't want it too tight because you're going to kind of fold it over, and then you're going to just kind of settle it down a little bit and create kind of a little bit of a pillow. And then you're just going to slide it in here. And if your box is bulging, you're going to take a few pieces out and redo it. But Doesn't that look nice? It gives the candy an upscale. Looks like upscale candy corn now. And you don't have to do candy corn. You can do whatever you want. But candy corn is also often a symbol of Halloween. So I just wanted to point these out. I have even seen some people use these on cards and like cutting them up because they have such an iridescent quality. So what I'm saying is these bags will probably be popular going into fall, and they might even be used for Christmas treats as well. So if you like these bags, I would not wait until right before when you need them to get them, because I am willing to bet that they will be on the list that you can't get things. The inventory report where these are out of stock. They will probably, I am assuming that they might go out of stock at some point. And of course they may come back in stock, but we do not make these in the US. So they are going to be coming from overseas, which means that there's always a few weeks before we will see them again. So I feel like these are going to be very popular going into the fall. They are available right now. I checked this morning. So there you have it. And I'm just kind of propping this one up, and then got this one here. So they are super cute, right? And just by adding just the tiniest bit of color on the front here, it just adds a little bit something to just being black and white. But if you want to be just black and white, you absolutely can do that too. So there you go, another Halloween project for you. And I'm gonna switch over to my other camera, and now I've piled a whole pile of things in front of my computer that I can now pull out. If you have gotten this far, I hope you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Some of you probably are already subscribed. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up. That helps me get seen by other people. You can share this video too. I would appreciate that. And then other people can find out all about my 3D projects. If you are looking for any of the supplies that I talked about today, look below in the description of the video on my blog post. It's down at the bottom of my blog. All right, I am going to go in and say hello to every one of you. And then if you have any questions, if I didn't explain something, please let me know. And all right, hello Tina. Hello Marge. Marge says she has the Fright Night bundle and can't wait to make it. Oh, that's awesome. I hope to be making, we have 2 main Halloween bundles this year, and I hopefully will be making some more projects with them coming up into August. Our holiday catalog does not release until September for customers. That's September 3rd. So we still have a little while before those products are available. So I do want to continue showing products that are available. These projects I use today, or products I use today, are available right now in the store. You do not need to wait to get them. In fact, I don't recommend waiting, because usually we have some things that sell out right before right when everyone is trying to get them. So now is a good time to get Halloween before there is a run on Halloween products. Marge also said her temperature is moderating. That's great. Hello, Deborah. Okay, let's see. Hello, Karen, and good morning, good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Marty. And I have my windows open too, Marty. And thank you for mentioning, giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Hello, Nancy from Maryland. And hello, Phyllis. I'm so glad you're here today. Um, and Marty loves the inside of the box. Yeah, it's just a little something extra, you know, when you open the box, and it's just a different closure and a different type of box. Hello, Sherry Barron. She says she can't believe that she caught me live. Oh, and you need the closed captioning. Yes, you know, if you need closed captioning, YouTube does that automatically, but it doesn't happen right away. It usually takes about 24 hours before the closed captioning appears. And that is like a YouTube thing. I don't really have control over that, but it will be captioned later on. And Marge likes the ruler. Yeah, it is a cool ruler. You know, it is really worth it if you have trouble with the measurements, because it will spell it out for you all the way. At first, when I got it, I was like, I thought there were the 16ths on there, and there are. They are just hidden right above the 1/8 inch marks. Yep, in teeny tiny font, but it's there, and that's what's helpful. And that's what's going to make things a little easier. Hello, Tina. And hello, Lulu from Australia. That's nice. So Tina asks, is there a certain machine to use the die in? Well, I'm using Stampin' Up, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But if you have a different die cutting machine at home already, most dies have the ability to work with different die cutting machines. You just need to have the correct sandwich for your machine. We always talk about when die cutting, we need to have a sandwich, and the sandwich helps bring either the die or embossing folder to the correct height for running it through. Also for dies, it's very essential to have a cutting plate, because the dies will cut into the cutting plate and leave a scar on your cutting plate. So this one, I'll just show you right here. This is our mini machine. I was using our regular machine. The things I did today could be done on a mini machine, because you would just need to cut your cardstock a little narrower for the dies to fit through, but they also would fit through on our mini machine. So if you don't have a die cutting machine yet, if you really think that you're going to be getting into it, you're going to be using Stampin' Up dies, I would recommend getting the bigger machine, because sometimes I will run a whole card base through or a whole box piece through, and it will only fit in the wider machine. But the mini machine is about half the price, and you can do a lot of things with it. Just sometimes you will be limited a little bit in terms of some projects. You absolutely will need the bigger machine. But most machines do accept other dies. You just have to figure out what the correct stacking is of the different plates, because most machines come with different plates, and you'll just have to figure that. But if you get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, then of course I can show you what you need to do to get the correct sandwich, or if you're using embossing folder and everything, I can help you with that. It's just with an outside machine, I don't have them here, so I'm not always familiar, so you would have to figure it out yourself. So I hope that answers your question, Tina. And if it doesn't, if you're still here, you're welcome to post below. I'll catch it as I go through the comments, or please reach out to me with my contact form. Let me see if I have my email address somewhere down below. Oh yeah, here, I'll post that up there. BrendaQStamps@gmail.com. If you have a direct question for me, you can absolutely email me there. Okay, I'm going to leave that up in case you want to copy that. All right. Hello, Mary. And she says she has the stamp set and dies coming. Awesome. So you'll be all set to make this project soon. Hello, another Mary from Cincinnati. Hello, Nancy. And she says she's always amazed at my ability to figure out how to make these pieces of paper together to form a box. How in the world do you do it? Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I think everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and I just love figuring out the measurements that bring together the boxes. It's a personal challenge of mine to do that. I love it. I have the harder part for me is decorating afterwards, but I love the measurements. They speak to me. Yesterday afternoon when I was looking what to make, I would just all of a sudden I had this idea pop into my head, and I guess I can't really explain how that happens anymore, because it just happens. At first I thought one day I might run out of ideas, and that was kind of a scary thought. And then I thought, well, you know what? If I run out of ideas, I run out of ideas, and that's it. But I can't, for now, they're still coming, so I'm just going to keep going with it. And now I'm beginning to think that there are so many different possibilities of ideas that you could do with all different dies and punches and stuff like that. You just need to sit down and play. And I am so happy to share my designs with all of you so that you can take those measurements and then you can decorate up those boxes however you want. And you're probably going to do that part even better than me, because that is not my strength. I think I do should I say good enough job? I think I do a very nice job. Let me put it to you that way. But sometimes people send me pictures of the boxes that they have done with my measurements, and I'm like, wow, I'm blown away. And so that's cool that someone can take my measurements and make something even more beautiful than what I made on camera. So kudos to all of you who take it to the next level. All right. Hello, Gina. And I'm glad you caught me live. Hello, Linda. She says, sometimes I glue a little piece on top of my glue boo-boos on the tabs. Oh, that's a good idea. I could have also glued an extra piece on top. Yeah. Since I had it flat, I figured I could fix it a little bit. So I was able to do that. But there's multiple ways to fix things. And I'm glad you guys always point out different ways to fix things, because some people might not have an eraser like mine, and that would work really well for that. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Chris. She's in Grand Island, New York, and the weather has leveled out. Yes, that is absolutely true for here as well. Our temperature is going to be so nice today. And Gina says she hopes to have cooler weather in North Carolina. I hope so too. Hello, Michelle. And she says, cute project. Oh, hello. This is Michelle Carter. And she's got happy mail. I was wondering, I have happy mail coming from Florida. And so I'm excited to see what that is. So Michelle, I just will show you right here. Michelle makes these little boxes right here, and she made this one for me, and it holds my adhesive. I don't have all my things in here right now. It holds scissors, my bone folder. Sorry, that's my home phone going off in the background. I can't stop it. And it will be spam. No one calls us on that line. But anyway, I keep all. I'm just going to show you. I sometimes show this on camera. I keep a lot of things in here. And I also am I'm testing out my cloud cover ink on my washed out ink pad. So I have so much stuff in here. I keep my glue separate though. There is a spot for the glue over here on this side too. So I just keep so much stuff jammed. And before I had this box, it was a bit of a mess. And now that I have it, everything is just so neat and tidy. She also makes, if you like little ribbon boxes. Now I have mine sitting out right now because I've pulled them out for individual things, but these are really great. And if you're using my ribbon savers, I'm just gonna, you can feed these back in, but I'm often grabbing just one roll at a time to use. So I'm just gonna feed this in just real quick to show you. These are her little ribbon things, and you can still pull on my ribbon like this. I might actually, I'm trying to think, there's probably a best positioning way, or you can lift them out, but these have been very handy too, and they do keep your ribbon contained. I keep these in my drawers down there. She also makes those. So if you look below in the description of my video, there will be a link to Michelle's store on there if you want to check out what she does. Very cool, fun little 3D printed boxes. All right. Lois says she likes the Halloween boxes. Hello, Louise. And she's says grateful for the replay, and she says she loves the box. Hello, Karen. And she says don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Karen. Patty says she has that ruler, this ruler, and she loves it. Great. I think it's going to be very useful because sometimes my brain is like, okay, where is 13/16 or 11/16 or whatever, and that's just going to help out. Hello, Valerie. And Sherry says she loves the project, and Chris says she likes the decoration on the inside, and Gina loves the project too. And Vonnie says very cute. Thank you, Vonnie. Hello, Candy. And she says, and Seacraft says very cute treat box. And she also has the same ruler, and she loves it too. I have many rulers. I have a lot. I do like my rulers. Can never have too many rulers, especially if you're creating things, right? Hello, Lana. And she says it's hot in Florida, but she loves the Halloween boxes. Yes, do not buy Halloween chocolate yet in Florida. It will melt. Amy D says she loves the box. Nancy said she noticed a pink Victor ruler on Amazon. Do you know the difference in the two? I do not. I'll have to go look it up. I just, maybe there's two different colors. You know, and if there is, I like blue. So that makes me happy, but it would be nice to have the pink option too. I'll have to look that up. I'll see if I can, next time I use this ruler, I will see if there's a difference. And Mary said she just ordered the ruler. Good job. I'm glad that will be helpful. I think this is just going to be helpful to, you know, even double check your measurements, because I do occasionally have someone contact me about my measurements in my tutorials. And there have been times where I have had an error, but there's a lot of people using my tutorials and project sheets. So if it's been circulating for a week and I hear back after 2 weeks that someone has a wrong measurement, like they think my measurement is wrong, sometimes this would really help them, because you can go back and double check that what you thought you cut is actually what you cut, because even I sometimes cut wrong. So it's nice to have like a second way to double check your measurements other than just cutting on a trimmer and just assuming everything is right. Michelle said, She needs to designing a version of your ribbon savers on her list next. Yes, the cardstock works really well. So, I haven't, thought about doing anything else with it. I love the little, where's my ribbon? It does, work nicely. It hugs nice and close to the ribbon roll, and you can customize the different openings. I have a ribbon savers project sheet that will be coming out. I keep saying it will coming out. I did make progress on it this week. It's done. I just need to probably film a video tutorial with it too. All right, Marty says she has that ruler too. And she says she hates to tell me how many rulers I have. Well, I don't know. Maybe I have more than you, Marty. But I don't really want to get rid of any of them. I use them all. So I have little tiny ones. I have like, oops. I even have like a little baby one. This is, just a little teeny tiny metal. I love them all. Like, I have different uses for all of them. So gotta have rulers. Jean says she loves the treat box, and she thanks me for sharing it. Marge says she searched high and low for those tweezers and could not find them, so she ordered them from Stampin' Up! And now have doubles of the other things. Oh no, you lost your tweezers. Ugh. One day you'll probably find them. I have lost things and then try to replace them, and then as soon as you try and replace them, you find your thing, or years later you find them in the most obscure spot. You may still have them somewhere, Marge. Marty says rulers rule. Louise says the 6-inch metal ruler is the one she uses most. Oh, that's cool to know. I got this. I don't know, whenever I go to a store that has like a drafting section, I always go and I always spend time in the drafting section, and I look at all of their rulers to see if there's something else that I want. I've got T rulers. I've got right now my favorite ruler is my Omni grid ruler, because I can line things up on the little lines, and it's see-through and it's thick. So it's good for if you need an end scoring measurement. You can kind of stop your score. I have a lot of uses for my Omni grip, but you gotta have more rulers than just one, right? There's probably someone out there with one ruler right now thinking, yeah, I can live with just one ruler, but yeah, they don't paper craft as often as I do. So there you go. Well, thank you all for making it to the very end. The project sheet will come out tomorrow. If you want the project sheet, make sure you're on my mailing list. If you have any questions, I still have my email up there. You are welcome to email me, and I will get your questions answered. And yeah, let me know if you do. And have a great weekend, everyone. And I will see you back here next week. Take care. Bye-bye.